My beautiful shrimp tank that used to look like this now looks like this in just a year's time. Let's give it a refresh and make it look a bit better. As you can see, the jungle the shrimp once lived in has peeled back. This is because there are so many floating plants that it's actually limited the lights for the other plants underneath. Whilst the plants that do well in lower light, like the Anubias and Cryptocorn, are doing really well, the Polysperma which once infested this tank has died back. So let's take the other tank apart and start emptying it out with the help of a spare fish tank. Let's take some of the original water out so the shrimp aren't too shocked in their new tank with new water with different parameters. We'll take all of the plants out that I can salvage and then take out all the hardscape and store it in here and eventually net out the shrimp inside. While we're ripping up the original hardscape which we planted almost a year ago, let's make sure that we're not missing any shrimp when we remove the water by making the siphon hose go through a net at the other end. Baby shrimp are super small and they're also transparent, so this stops us from accidentally throwing any babies away. As you can see, the substrates have all mixed together and got a lot more dirty in the time. We're going to keep them in, however, because this will store all the beneficial bacteria in the tank that's not housed within the filter. However, what we are going to be doing is rescaping it. We're going to be moving that around so it's higher at the back and lower at the front, just to give a sense of depth. This means that when we add the hardscape and the plants, we can see the shrimp more clearly, and it means the scape looks better overall. As you can see from the side, the shrimp really aren't happy about this and they're trying to desperately escape everywhere. Don't worry, we managed to net all of them out and they're all in the new tank happy ever after. We recycled the dragonstone and the other hardscape from the previous tank and used it to give some depth to this scape. I really like dragonstone with all the little crevices because it works really well for shrimp and the other plants that we're putting in. Because dragonstone naturally has many different holes and crevices within it, this is excellent for baby shrimp because it makes them feel more comfortable and also provides an area for the plant's roots to grow in to give it more of an anchoring structure. We're going to be mainly planting this with Polysperma, but adding some Anubias, Cryptocorns, some dwarf chainsword and also some Bacopa, as well as a plethora of floating plants. We're actually going to use a sinking weight to keep the Anubias in place, as those roots will wrap themselves around that piece of driftwood and eventually settle itself. So this is the finished product, and I definitely think the new scape looks a lot better than it did, at least a lot more healthy, and I know the shrimp do too, as they're already grazing and enjoying themselves. The shrimp are looking lonely, so let's give them some new friends. We actually bought a couple more shrimp from another shop just to make sure that there's enough genetic diversity and there isn't too much inbreeding going on, as we've had many different babies in the year. So after the drip acclimation process, we're ready to let these guys in, and they look very excited to be going in as they immediately get out the net and go and find a new spot to settle down on. One even goes and sits itself on one of the polysporas leaves. 2 weeks later and the shrimp absolutely loved the new setup. They've already had one set of babies. They've been enjoying going around and exploring all the different places they can go to now, and enjoying actually having plants rather than just the floating ones. I've been making sure that they're always eating a varied diet so that they're fully enjoying their lives. So enjoy some of these clips and have an excellent day.